I get it. I understand, as a coach, I have the power, I have the access to make sure that, you know, I'm making an impact on a kid, on my player's life. See, I understand that times back then was totally different than what it is now. Some coaches succeed in excelling in it, and then you got other coaches that's still trying to find his way. But that doesn't make any difference from the reason why you actually jump into coaching. So I understand, as being a leader, it's less bad days you can have than a normal person, because you are a true example from the people that's looking at you and looking up to you. See, I understand that coming into work every day, it has to be, and it is, like, it's my passion. It keeps me going. Other than my family, my kids, my wife, and of course God, like, coming here every day, pouring into a kid that walked the same halls as I did, played on the same court as I did, like, that gets me going. So I understand that I matter, and I must have to, and I must push these kids to their full potential. I don't know how Coach Raff did it. As a player, it was much easier than it was as a coach. And growing up in that era where I had great teammates and we didn't have a lot of things going on back then, basketball was so simple. But then I also understand that as life goes on, more access and more things are granted to the kids these days. But I have the ability, coaches have the ability to really pour into their kids with the words they say, on how they live their life. So always being impactful, always living a life as a Christian, you know, being a stand-up person, showing great character, great leadership. I'm just hoping that actually like soak into another kid's life. And I do get a lot of compliments, and I do get a lot of, you know, praises and whatnot, but I have to repeat it every year. So every year repeating it, this year I'm going on my 5th year. I'm excited. I'm excited as if I took the job, just when I took the job in 2018, I still have that same excitement. And the reason being is because this is what I love to do. This is the passion that I have. This is what gets me up every morning and come to school and make sure that I'm doing the right thing, impacting the kids and showing them the ways, man, of life through God, of course. So when it's something that, you know, we talk about this year, man. We always say our turn. We are saying our turn this year. It was we all we got, we all we need. That is still the motto, but now it's our turn. Looking at how hard we worked over the summer, how hard we worked in preseason, and all the things you just did off the court, man, together as a unit, man. These guys deserve it. We deserve it as a coaching staff. We deserve it as a Battle Creek community. They deserve it as players, man. Their families deserve it. They deserve to see success and what it feels like, the same success I felt in 2009 and 2010, playing in Lower State, losing by 1 in double overtime, or having that 25-3 season, you know, being 13-0 at home. Like, these kids, they deserve it, and it's up to me. And of course, I got my coaching staff, but at the end of the day, it's still up to me, because I am the leader. And I am grateful to have, and I appreciate, and I just love all my coaches, man, that's still with me from the start until now, man. You know, adding Coach Capers, subbing for Coach Smalls, that was a great mentor. Coach Mack, that was a great mentor. And then bringing in Coach Rob last year, which was his first year, and bringing him back this year, man, and Coach Woody. Like, we are all alumni here at Battle Creek, so we understand. We get it. And the best thing we can possibly do, man, is to continue to keep on fighting against Duquesne. Not allowing ourselves to get into the ways of win, but also let's make an impact on these young men's lives. Let's make sure that after they leave this program, let's make sure that they got something to look forward to. Shout out to all the alumni guys that played for us and that's doing great things in society. That's what we wanted. That's what we showcase. That's what we preach for the 3 months and 4 months, the 180 days that we have inside school, because we know that basketball does end. It ended for me and it ended for a lot of other players. That's why you have coaches that play basketball, come back and give to their community like myself. You have great young coaches that, basketball didn't work out, but they saw that they could still be a part of the game by being in the coach's box. So in life, man, when it's all said and done like that, basketball is going to come to an end. As a coach, we must do what we got to do to make sure that we're pushing our kids to be successful. And I stay in contact to most of the players, man, that that play for us. And if I don't, they're not hard to find, to checking up on them. But the biggest thing for us is making sure we build those strong relationships to where we are invited to those weddings and those baby showers and any promotions or anything they got going in life. That's the biggest win. So I'm excited. Year 5, I'm excited, man. Trials is tomorrow. I came in here and I got the gum up off the floor. I'm starting to clean up around. I just needed to be in here for another, just by myself, just listening to the quietness before the crowds, before the cheerleaders, before the ball bounce, before the whistles, before the fans. I just needed to be in here and think of how grateful I am to just have such position, and how grateful I am for God to bring me this far and to allow me to do what I'm doing. I wouldn't be able to be here if it wasn't for God. I I knew that I wanted to be a coach after playing college basketball, but I didn't know I was going to end up back here. But God has his way of making sure we do his work. And it's good to be doing it in the halls and on the court where I once was. I'm a firm believer. That's what got me this far, believing in God and going through the seasons that I've been through, man. God is the only thing. Of course, family and friends, but God is for the most part, man. I became humble. I started reading his word a lot more. His word, I started asking for the wisdom and the knowledge that I needed to do this job, because it's not easy. And not just for the wins and losses, but I'm just talking about in this generation alone, it's not easy. But God has his way, or has his ways of putting us in a position where we can do his work so that he can shine more in the light of the crowd or in the light on the court. We are just a vessel. That's all I am. I'm just a vessel. I'm just a vessel that God is using to do his work. I'm gonna do it diligently, I'm gonna do it with care, and I'm gonna do it with purpose. That's why you always see me, out in the community doing things that I do, because it's not just about the wins. It's not just about who's going to go play college basketball. Like, all those things matter, but if my guys don't walk out of here in the 4 years and being great men, I feel like I lost. So that's why we work. That's why we make sure we're doing community service. That's why we make sure we having our Bible studies, our FCAs on Tuesdays. That's why we make sure we are not dismissing God. I'm a Christian coach in a culture that's so weak, and it's like they're picking and choosing on which way they actually want to go in life. But my guys know, man, it's all love. It's all great discernment here. It's all wisdom. It's all knowledge. That's what they're getting here from us. See, I grew up in Dale, South Carolina. I grew up on concrete, well, outside. And it's many guys and many kids, man, that played in Dale. It's a lot of great athletes that's on that side of the bridge alone. And I came from that, so thinking about like the roots and the family that I came from, man, it makes sense. Like everybody in my family, they were like go-getters. My father was an athlete, my brothers was an athlete, my uncles was an athlete, my cousins an athlete. Everybody went to college. Grandma showed us, grandma, granddaddy, they're Christians, so that just trickled down, man. So we have a strong family. Like I remember James J. Davis Elementary School and, playing basketball out there and having field days out there. I remember going to Well Branch Middle School and, battling against, Robert Smalls back then, which, once we got to high school, we became one team. I remember those days, man. Those childhood days were great days. We didn't have a lot of access to the things that kids have access for. We didn't want to do a lot of things that the kids are doing now, or to be honest, we were afraid to do a lot of things that the kids are doing now, but you have to adjust. We have to adjust and we have to be realistic to the things that's going on. So why not, make sure you're getting your point across? Why not make sure you're standing strong as a leader, living life to be the example that they're looking up to, or they want to one day be? So I understand a lot of things. And I think with that understanding, I'm going to continue to be on this same path that I'm on now, because I don't see no other way in life to be doing it. Unless God calls me to do something else. Basketball is my ministry, and I'm doing it with God being ahead. And I love all the support. I love everybody that supports us throughout the years, man, that's faithful. I love the guys, man, my kids, the players that's coming in, working hard for me, running through walls. The standards rise, the standard rise. And once the standard rises, a lot of people fade away. But guys that I have now, they understand, they know my expectations. They know our expectations. They do a lot of things here, man, that nobody see. As a basketball player, as a student athlete, we ask a lot from these young guys. Because we know, man, after they leave here, man, they're gonna go inside the world, man, and they're gonna be able to take some things that they learn here, not just, putting a basket in the hoop, but how to be a man. Some of our kids, man, even in the previous years, a lot of single parent homes. And when you have your parent meetings, man, it's different, because now you see a lot of mothers and less fathers. So we have to understand, like, the generation and the kids that we have now, man, they're growing up now with no father in the home. So the only man voice, or the only authority that they hear is our voice as a man. After hearing mommy voice for a while, or auntie voice for a while, some of them have their uncles that step up, but for the majority, after hearing, women voices for a while, and then that one man comes in and step in, a lot of people rebel against that. So we as a coaching staff and we as coaches, like, we have to understand, like, we are we are their father that's fatherless, that brother that they lost a long time ago. So that's why we make sure we talk with care. We love, not just tough love, but we love, like, we show the love that we have for them, man, by showing our daily appreciation. Like, we have a thing that we say: we never delay gratitude. Like, we argue at them, but at the end of the day, they're gonna take it in, because after that argument comes a hug. After that argument becomes after we done, shot down his feelings, man, we pick him back up. We know how to talk without our emotions, pretty much. So we understand, man, and I'm excited for going into year 5. I thank my principal, my athletic director, and the school staff, man, that supports us. It's not easy. It's not easy. Trust me, it's not easy coming here and not, seeing Les winning. But they see the wins that don't go on the scoreboard or in the stat book. And I think this year right here, it's cliche, but it's our turn. So I'm excited. I hope you are excited. We're humble, but it's our turn.